Hi everyone, my name is Cynthia. Let's talk books. Today I'm here with Lincoln, who is kind of being held hostage against his will in my arms. He needs a groom, right, Lincoln? Yeah. Anyways, I am here to talk about books. Today I want to talk about a book that I received an ARC, an advanced reader's copy via NetGalley for free, and that is Full Moon Over Freedom by Angelina M. Lopez. So this is book number 2 in the Milagro Street series, and if you missed After Hours on Milagro Street, I do recommend you read the first one, but you don't need to have read the first book to read Full Moon Over Freedom. So, this is a return to Freedom, Kansas. It's a made-up town based on a very real history. It's a Latino community in this town based on the history of Mexicans that came to work in the railroad in the U.S. and then remained in all kinds of parts of the U.S., including the Midwest. So this history is really, really cool. If you haven't seen Angelina M. Lopez's video talking about this history, she has a video up on TikTok, and she might have it on Instagram as well. Highly recommend it. She recommends a book that is excellent, an excellent work of history on this topic, and there goes Lincoln. Okay. But anyways, she handles the history so well, and it's not just teaching you the history, it's using the history in service of this particular story, and I think it works so well. I had a lot of fun coming back to the world of Freedom, Kansas, not just because my family is an actual Mexican family living in Kansas at the moment, but also because of the social elements that Lopez brings into the story. Freedom, Kansas is a town that has been neglected, especially the Latino side of town has been largely neglected, and so some of our main characters are engaged in a project of rebuilding, revitalizing that part of town without gentrifying it. And I find all those aspects in this story really great. They were present in the first book, and so now it's a continuation of seeing this project of rebuilding this part of town. And it's really amazing to kind of see the progress in the town and in the story develop this way. Amazing. Let's talk about our main characters, though. This is a male-female romance, and Angelina M. Lopez is really fantastic at writing difficult heroines. There is a lot of negativity and criticism of difficult heroines, but I think what Lopez does with her heroines is brings us into their lives in a really difficult moment, shows us them being difficult, sometimes unreasonable, just a little bit unlikable. And just as you're ready to write them off, gives us enough to understand these heroines. And I think she did particularly well with Jillian in this story, because the whole time I felt like I understood Jillian. Even if I didn't always like what she was doing, I understood her. So Jillian is the oldest in the family, and she has been away from Freedom, Kansas for a long time, like the rest of her sisters. She's been away in Washington, D.C. because she married a lawyer. I believe she married a lawyer, yeah. And so she's been in high society DC circles. Things I didn't like about her initially were the fact that she wears contacts to make her eyes appear like they're colored. I forgot if it's green or blue. She wears designer clothes. She is very uptight and appears a little bit snobby. And at first I was like, oh honey, what are you doing? Are you, you're trying to be white? But when we meet her, she's recently divorced, and her husband was not a good person. He's not a good husband, not a good father. And she's back in Freedom, Kansas. Well, she puts her life back together, but she's having a really hard time finding a job. It appears that her husband has kind of been blocking her ability to find a job so that he can control her. And she doesn't want to talk to her family about this, and that was pretty frustrating for me to read at first, because I was like, talk to your family, you clearly have a very loving family of people that would help you. But at the same time, I understood the need to not be the family's charity case and the need to do things on your own, and most of all to take care of her children. I think that is the aspect that makes Jillian most kind of like understood for me. Even though she's doing things that I might question, I felt like it is clear that a lot of her actions and decisions are being guided by her desire to care for her children and protect them, especially to protect them from their father. And that just is completely understandable, especially the way Angelina and Lopez lace it out. So the hero of the story is Nikki, who has a history with Jillian. They were friends in high school, but more than that, Nikki was kind of Jillian's first sexual experience, and they did a lot of sexual experimentation together, but only as friends. They kind of had a deal. Jillian went to Nikki and asked him to like help her kind of find her sexuality, but no love involved. This was just like a contract for sex. And of course, this is a romance novel, but Nikki developed feelings when they were in high school, and when Jillian left Freedom, Kansas, never to like look back again, he was left heartbroken. Now they are brought together again, and they have to figure out, who they are now, how they've changed, and how pick up the pieces of the life that they find themselves in at the moment. Nikki also has some feelings of feeling responsible for the death of his brother and for his dad's health conditions. So some of that is explored in here, but the main kind of trauma that we explore is Jillian's trauma. The other really interesting thing about this book, though, is the magical elements. When the story starts, Jillian is driving back into town, and Nikki's walking down the road, and this is the exact same road where they last saw each other. Jillian is a bruja. She can perform certain kinds of magic. Nothing like big, like in the magic doesn't take over the story. This is what I found really interesting. These magical elements were there. Maybe even some readers might find them like unnecessary, but I thought they added something really cool to the story, and it's part of what made me feel like, okay, Jillian's doing some things I don't like at the beginning, but there's got to be more to this story. I have to give her a chance, because by the time that we pick up the story with our characters as adults, Jillian has lost access to some of her magic, and she doesn't know how to get it back. And clearly here it's a metaphor for the things she has lost in trying to make her marriage work, and in trying to be somebody that has lost touch with her roots. And a lot of that is connected to her husband and the world that he lives in and that she tried to be a part of. And it doesn't mean that she didn't belong in that world. It just means that she sacrificed key elements of herself in order to be in that world. And I love that aspect of like, hey, no, it's about reconnecting, not just with yourself, who you are as a woman, as a person, as an individual, but also as a member of a family, as a member of a community. What community do you want to be a part of? What are those things that you value? And I really love that aspect here. So if you are somebody who struggles with difficult heroines, with unlikable female characters, I hope you're going to give Angelina and Lopez a chance, especially with Full Moon Over Freedom, because I feel like with every book that Lopez writes, she's getting better at writing these difficult, unlikable heroines. And I don't know, maybe it's just me getting better as a reader, understanding and accepting these unlikable heroines, but I just really love what she's doing with these characters. So I want to challenge people who typically have a hard time with these kinds of heroines to give Lopez a chance here, because I think that she's gonna surprise you. So that is it. Let me know if you have any questions, if you you picked up After Hours on Milagro Street, let me know how you feel about unlikable female heroines, because it's a conversation worth having, especially in the romance genre. So I like to have a chat with anybody who has some thoughts to share. But thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.